You know, I knew it was going to be bad. I didn't think it was going to be this bad, though. Before we open this review of chapter 319 of Black Clover, please do me a favor, leave your own thoughts on the chapter in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, make sure to hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, if you don't mind, I do have a Patreon down below. If you want to support your boy, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, let's get into it. What's up, guys? Pencil here, and here we are to chapter 319 of Black Clover, which is known as Great Magic Knights versus King of Devils. And, it might as well just be called 12 pages of people getting curb stomped, because that's all that happens. So we hop right into the chapter, and we get to see... I honestly, as cool as it is to see all the captains posed up in the last chapter shot, like, it's a good shift in perspective on Tabata's part to show how, like, weirdly goofy it looks from a higher perspective. Like, Lucci is just staring down on all of them like, really? But is this your best? Like, is this all you can do? And I love that. It's weird, but I love how the fire spirit is just chilling on top of Rill's door. Or he's like Twilight Valhalla or whatever. It's just chilling there like, hey, I'm posted up too. So, like, everyone is posted up and ready. And notably, I love how it's immediately admitted that without Rill's help, without Rill's support, they'd all be flat on the ground right now. So the moment Rill runs out of magic, the moment his spell stops, they're stopped. Like, period, point blank, they're going to be back on the ground, and I doubt Rill's going to be able to muster up another one after all the fighting he's been through. And I love how, even with these people who have been doing, like, okay, they haven't been doing the best. Like, Charlotte, nah. Like, I mean, Merleona did good, though. Everyone else, a little bit struggling. But for these characters that were known as the strongest to just casually be admitting, yo, this thing before me, it's a monster. Like, it's just, like, Lucci is so far out of the league that they've begun to comprehend so far that it's no contest. And I think that's amazing to see, because honestly, I was a little bit worried. But we open up and we get to see that Jack and Merleona take the charge of course they would, because they're the two hotheads. And what I love is that regardless of what they do, they literally straight up say, huh? He won't burn, and I can't cut this guy. And notably, we know this isn't necessarily either of their peaks. Jack can adapt to cut many things, and Merleona can adapt to burn many things by just getting hotter and hotter. But both of them, after all their previous amps, like, we gotta remember, Jack already adapted to cut through gravity, and he still needs real support to even stand up, and he still can't cut Lucci. And Merleona just got done literally amping herself pretty much endlessly against an ancient demon, and she still can't even just burn the tip of this man's skin. He's only just standing there face tanking all of it, and they're leaving no damage on him. And all it takes is a simple bop on the back of the head, or not even that. I think he literally, like, unless the anime will probably show it better, but at least from my understanding of this manga panel, Lucci puts his hand up and then proceeds to, like, backhand Jack directly on the face and send him flying deep into the ground. And Meryl tries to, like, capitalize on the opportunity while Lucci's distracted, and he just grabs her arm, like her literal on fire arm, and it's just like pointless. And I was trying to make a JoJo's reference. I forget. Muda muda muda. Okay, but the thing is, it's interesting, right? Because what was brought up in last week's comment section is something that's I didn't necessarily think of, in the idea that Lucci could still be amping himself with magic, and this isn't all just physical strength. And while that is cool, and that would make sense considering, you know, you can use magic on yourself even if you can't use it on another person, I would just love it if this was just all confirmed to be Lucci's just raw physical strength. Like, he straight up is like, fine, none of you want to work with my magic, I will literally just throw hands with you. I would love that, because, you know, he's physically fast, so obviously it would make sense that he's physically strong too. And he's just throwing people around, and, like, it almost, like, when I first read the chapter, I thought he legit removed Merleona's arm. Like, not gonna lie to you, the action marks, or whatever you want to call them, were so well placed on the bleeding part of her arm that I legit just thought he, like, ripped it off. And I don't know why I find it funny, but Lucci did a twirl. Like, when he threw Merleona away, he straight did a whoo, like a princess twirl, and launched her away. And of course, Nozel comes in for the clutch. He's got all his silver up, all his steel going, and This is my, I don't know. There's something that always just fits my taste. That like really gets my primordial blood burning, if you will. My aching blood. If you get that reference, you're a Fire Emblem fan, and that's all I'm gonna say. But I just love whenever a character that is a lot stronger than another character just takes their whole hand, palms the face of whoever they're fighting, and then throws them. Like, it would have been 10 times as satisfying if Lucci just slammed Nozel into the ground, but at the same time, just simply and launching him away is just as good. I really appreciate that. And then, of course, we get to see the Fire Spirit pop up, and as was mentioned in the comment sections previously, yeah, Futile, you gotta lose that bad boy, bro. Like, where's the Spirit Dive at? Come on now, you gotta be able to do something. Saint Stage, I know it's completely unreasonable for him to know how to do that, considering figured it out, I'm pretty sure, mostly by accident, and Noel was actually trained to enter it. So, like, those two have excuses to enter Saint Stage. Meanwhile, Fugalion's just doing his best, and it's just not enough. Like, literally, Lucci grabs onto the Great Fire Spirit, and once again, the same he did with Merrily, and maybe he just likes twirling around fire people. I mean, it makes for a good light show, but he literally spins around the Fire Spirit and launches that bad boy somewhere else. And wait, not even that. He literally, because the thing is, Futile was, I think, literally either on the back. No, he was straight flying above the Fire Spirit. So Lucci grabs the Fire Spirit by it, and that's so metal too. Like, he doesn't even grab like its snout or anything. He literally grabs the side of its mouth. Like take your fingers right now. If your hands are clean and you're in a safe spot and you won't look weird for doing this, take your finger right now. And no, it doesn't, not your fingers. Take your hand, shove your thumb in your mouth, and pull. Like, just tell me how weird that feels. Because you have to imagine he's doing that to a creature that is made of fire and is proceeding to throw it around and slam it into the ground. That is legendary. That is a metal, and I love it. And speaking of things that I love, I mean, it would have been so cool. I get why he doesn't do it, right? Because that would be too much. And obviously, this chapter is very short as it is, so I'm assuming that's about either wasn't feeling well or didn't have the time or something like that. But I wish Dorothy actually got him into the world of dreams just so we could see him break out of it. Because notably, when she goes to do it, all he does is say, pointless, and like bust the magic open before it can really activate. Like, we don't even get to see him in there. And I would have loved, like, she pops him in there and tries to make copies of him, but he literally just flexes so hard that the whole world shatters. Like, I would find that amazing. But regardless of that, he just blows her away. And we get to see our main man, whose name I always forget. And since I want to disrespect him, I'm not even going to look it up. He's just sitting here like, yo, it was a good run while it lasted. Because, seriously, the captains can't even touch him. What kind of power is that? Like, you got to realize, while our characters have been running into, like, high-level monsters, high-level threats, all the way back since the Elf arc, like, these guys just weren't ready. Like, Lucci, and this is why I talk about, like, the issue with plot progression from this point onward. Because, like, where do you go from here? Lucci has been not only built up, but now clearly shown as this just being above beings, this monster above monsters. Like, there's nothing that the cast has been able to show that they're able to do against this man. It's just, that's it. He's like literally the period to the sentence. The fact that he's shown up this early, well, I'm happy that he's here because of all the build up towards him. Made a whole video on that. I don't think he like popped up too soon. I don't know how they're gonna satisfy, like, every other theory that we've been talking about, like the Time Devil. I think they're like theories about Dante's devil protecting like the Spade Kingdom because that was the deal they made. Like, anything, because right now, even with Asta, I don't see a way for our cast. Like, say you get the whole Light Triad together. You get Asta, Noel. They all go Saint Stage /W. And they all fuse their powers together. Like, it just doesn't seem like it's going to be enough. Lucci is flexing on people by, once again, just existing. Literally, Charlotte's Briars can't even reach him. Like, they're not touching him. It's not like they're repelling themselves. They simply put the Briars stop before they can touch him. And that just shows how alpha he is. I don't know how you beat this kind of alpha character. And if Tabata straight up goes down like bad end route, and I've been hearing a lot of stuff about Asta possibly dying, I would rock with that. You wouldn't hear me complaining. But nah, legitimately, because I as great as all this buildup was, and as great as all that is happening right now is, I don't see a way that Kubo could write the story with the current cast of characters we have that we know the specific powers of, and we've seen interact with Lucci already. I don't see a way that Tabata could write the narrative in a sense that defeating him right now would be satisfactory, or like feel like it's appropriate to all the buildup and hype he's received and all that he's shown already. I feel like you're gonna have to. They need another trading arc or something. Maybe like a Devil World arc where Lucci takes over the world and it's just the knights hiding or something like that. Like something, because Lucci's just on a different tier. And we get to see that Lucci firmly believes that, yo, the fact that you filthy, lowborn, disgusting creatures even considered the idea that you could hypothetically even throw a fingernail at me is disgusting. You should be despairing and prostrating yourselves before me. And is that for some reason that was interesting and weird. Like, it was interesting on the front that he actually cares about what humans do, because at least from my perspective, I remember Lieb's backstory. He describes that like messing with humans is the greatest fun there is to have in comparison to the underworld. Like, there's nothing better. But like, does he actually plan to like take over and enslave the human race? Like, what is Lucci's goal? Because now that I think about it, the only thing we've gotten is him manifesting. Does he legit just want to rule both the underworld and the main world? Is there a supreme deity type being in this world, like a being from the heavens, like an angel type species or something like that's gonna come and stop him? Like, I don't know. He seems so otherworldly, and well, that's cool. Now I'm just wondering, like, well, shoot, if they did prostrate themselves, what do you want them to do? Like, there's nothing there. And then, of course, we get to see Mero. She comes up the clutch, fist flaming, and yeah, just does absolutely nothing. Like, I'm pretty sure she hits him with a slobber knocker dead in the jaw, and all it does is casually bounce off. Like, he's not damaged at all. And we get to see that the captains, they're invested. They're still willing to fight because they have been granted the title of strongest. And I mean, like, outside of Wizard King, I suppose the captains are the strongest. But like, have y'all? I don't know if y'all have been reading the manga or something, but I feel like there are a couple characters that scale above you now. Y'all may not be the strongest no more. I need you to go check your card fact, especially some of you. Some of you need to go. However, I do love this panel though. Like, Rill, Nozel, Dorothy, Merleona, Jack, Fugelion, Charlotte, like, all these people, some in like diametrically opposite proposed positions. Like, it's just a really cool shot of all of them declaring their will to fight, declaring their path to victory. And for Lucci to just be like, really? And so that's what you're doing? And then, of course, we get to see someone pops out the clutch, and he screams, like you could ever understand how awesome Great Magic Knights are. And that's the end of the chapter. Yeah, this chapter was short, and that's all right, because I don't mind chapters being short as long as the mangaka is getting the rest that they need. Like, I used to get mad at hiatuses or pauses as I read hiatus x hiatus, but I've just gotten used to it at this point. I'd rather Tabata take the time he needs to calm down, take a break, and then produce like another full force fire chapter after a week, rather than him just stretch his limits. Because obviously, I feel like he was already stretching his limits here in this chapter, and it's not just because like it's only 12 pages, but the art in this chapter is just chef's kiss, from Merleona attacking all the different interactions between. I don't know why Lucci's name left my head so quickly. All the different interactions between Lucci and the captains, from every single dynamic pose and shot. Like, I know this man was tired, drawing up to the wee hours and inking it seconds later. Like, I get it. I understand the struggle of some point. Not to the same struggle as a mangaka, but as a person who produces content kind of consistently, I can definitely see where like the late hours and the stresses come in. But I'm glad he managed to produce a chapter this good with no missing pages or no like non-properly colored pages. It's just really, really good. Did what I expect to happen? Yes, I expected the captains to get sunned, and they got sunned, daughtered, and practically grandsunned. However, I still am on the verdict of Asta just not being able to do anything. Like, sure, he's coming in from behind, but I feel like he lost the element of surprise the moment he showed himself and lunged in, blade in hand. That's when he showed himself. Like, I don't think he should have done that. He should have literally, like, in that moment right there at the end of the chapter when they're all declaring themselves to be the strongest, especially since Lucci cannot sense Asta. Notably, that's a thing. He can't really feel a single speck of magic power from Asta. He needs to have him in view to catch him. Asta, you should have just, like, gone to decapitate the man. Like, he obviously wasn't paying attention to you, so you could have, like, bragged about big, hefty night powers later after you bisected this man, even if you could, because I highly doubt it. But what do I think is going to happen next chapter? I think Asta's either going to get dodged or blocked. Or, ooh, this would be a savage way to kill Asta, but, like, imagine you just, like, you have Asta swinging in, and Lucci's like, what did I already tell you, you insignificant being? And then he just flips the blade black and flips the blade backwards and just slices Asta in half, and that's how we get to the underworld. Like, that would be kind of funny, if not a bit morbid. But yeah, I can definitely see. For some reason I keep one. It's because I've been watching a lot of Bleach content. If I ever said Kubo throughout the video, my apologies. I mean Tabata, but it seems like Tabata is definitely on the verge of wrapping up this arc, because at least to me, I don't see where this arc goes at this rate. At this rate, it's just too darn crazy for me to even begin to quantify how they're going to beat him, what reason you would have to retreat or not, just end them all right here, right now, why he's suppressing himself. Like, all that stuff, I just simply wonder why. However, I still think this was a solid 10 out of 10 chapter. I appreciate seeing the captain show off. Even if someone like your Rills or your Charlottes, like, they didn't get to show off as much, everyone else did. They still got their moments to shine, and I think that is fantastic. However, those are my thoughts on the chapter, and please tell me your thoughts on the chapter in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. If you also don't mind, and have the time, hit the little notification bell and support your boy on Patreon. Now, this is That Guy with a Pencil, writing off.